Hello and welcome back to my GTNH playthrough. It is May 14th and we're over here by my control area. Uh, Been a couple days. Basically been working on gathering enough resources to make some big crafts. Two goals in mind at the moment, but figured we'd start over here with this quantum force transformer. Now, I don't think I mentioned it anytime previously. I think I mentioned I crafted it, but I actually set this up a while ago and then I never started using it because I misread the tooltip in, well, I don't even know if it's on the tooltip. It might have been the wiki, or I should say I didn't read the wiki because I made an assumption that this thing while running, because it has a ton of different recipes and they basically all involve put a resource and some sort of catalyst in, get a bunch of resources out. I assumed that the catalyst would be consumed, kind of like the large chemical plants. However, or the Exxon Mobil things, but they're not. The only thing the catalysts do is determine the number of parallels and basically unlock the recipe. And the reason I was worried about crafting more at the time was because of hypogen. Now, I did decide to give this a go because I had run out of osmium, and specifically osmium for the was it zine or xenozine stuff, because you do this in a bacteria vat with oil, antimony trioxide, and osmium to get the zine out, and then this is like the starting point of Radux. Now, I had run out because I hadn't been running that for a while because I had turned it off during my power issues, and then when I turned it back on, I didn't have enough osmium to run it. So I was like, oh, I need to take care of osmium. And then I looked over the line, and the line was running fine. I was like, fine, I'll finally put this thing to use. Started off with this, and then because I actually have hypogen flowing now pretty decently. And then I realized, oh, wait, it doesn't actually get used. So right now, this one's basically just the platinum group catalyst, and then we've got, if I were to do platinum group over here, platinum cat. Using this, I have all of these recipes set up, all these different dusts coming in, as well as even the combs. So we're getting both molten and powder. Now, I did read on the wiki that I can actually change the mode so you only get the molten forms out. And I might do that relatively soon, because I think it would be kind of nice to have it all in the molten form and then just use a fluid shaper to make the ingots instead of having to rely on the mega EBF, since like everything basically goes through that. But I'm also not sure. I don't know, because there are like dusts that go into recipes, but there's ways around that, so it's not the end of the world if I start off with the molten form. Like, I can literally just put a single block solidifier and macerator in front of it to get the dust out easier, or set up a crafty thing, either or. Anyway, so yeah, I got this set up. Once I realized the catalyst thing is pretty straightforward, and then the only thing that I messed up while making this is all the outputs come out on the roof. But yeah, otherwise nothing too exciting there. Next up, tungsten weirdly became a one I was short on, and I thought about, I shouldn't say I thought about, I did craft a second QFT. I just haven't set it up yet. But in the meantime, I did this prior to setting up that QFT. I actually redid my tungsten line from like the start of Eevee. Where is it? It's on one of these floors somewhere. Oh, here it is. So where I was looking around. So this literally takes no valid recipe. Did I really go through all the tungstate? That's crazy. I had 31 million tungstate, so that's kind of crazy that I'm all the way through it. But basically have this thing set up to run tungstate all the way to tungsten, since I don't seem to use, the only use for tungstate is to go into the QFT, and I don't even get out the tungsten back. So literally is just that really old line just done in UEV. I set that up, I want to say yesterday afternoon. Yeah, it was yesterday afternoon. I actually set it up earlier, but my computer crashed for whatever reason and it corrupted my world, and I had to like roll back a couple hours, which was unfortunate. And then I reset this up, but yeah, so I set up tungsten. On top of that, what else did I do? There's a bunch of random stuff I've been doing over the last few days, so I probably miss a bunch of random things, but I did add some more recipes to these two guys. Like I said, I got this up and running. I also... Oh yeah, one of the main recipes I added into there. Did I turn on levitation mode? Yeah, there we go. It's like I can't go down. Up in here, I sped up this because my tier 3 Naquata fuel wasn't crafting anymore. And so then my Naquata 5 was not crafting, which I am scarily low on. So I need to make sure that's keeping up. Right now it seems to be jamming up with Infinity Dust for whatever reason. Infinity Dust. But you can also see I have Molten Infinity here, so I might need to... What do I need to do? We're going to craft 1,000 right now. Then I'll worry about whatever's going on later. Where is it? Craft 1,000. Merge. Okay. I just want this to keep running because I don't want to run out in Aquata 5 and put myself in a bad spot. But this is running. I am consistently, as you see, keeping up with Hypogen and even gaining on it now, I believe. If we look in here, Hypogen. Yeah, I have nearly 1 million in backlog, which is nice because I'll be able to make the Hypogen coil blocks here relatively soon. I was waiting on UEV circuits to craft to get up over the 2,000 mark. And then I was going to launch that in because once we have the Hypogen coil blocks, we can get much faster Infinity, which that will also be really nice. However, the circuits aren't quite ready yet. If I hop down here, this was what we did last time. So I got all this. And then, so basically where I had left off was I had set all this stuff up, and then I wanted to basically start getting more resources as to be able to set up the Dyson swarms on Horus, because that's the substantially more energy, as well as to get to that point, I wanted to set up some form of teleportation. So originally my thought was I was going to use a pocket dimension. So I set this node up, and you can see I have it pure and bright, which I don't think matters. But basically, I could hit this with a primordial pearl, apparently, and turn it into a pocket dimension, and then set up just like a portal to and from. But I didn't. Well, I was waiting for this to grow, because essentially what's missing here is earlier I had a bunch of bees around this, the empowering bees, making this go bigger, which is why it already has so many random assets or aspects to it. I was looking around and I noticed this thing, the Enchanted Charm of Dislocation, which this thing is awesome. It is from Draconic Evolution, and there is multiple different versions. There's this thing, the Charm of Dislocation, which would have been the first thing we had access to, which I could be describing how you use it wrong, but I believe this is just one teleport location that you basically take to where you want to teleport, set the coordinates in it, and then you either can hold it and it'll use durability, or you throw it on a dislocation pedestal, which is somewhere in here, and then you click on that pedestal and you'll warp. So I was like, that would have been good enough for me. But then I realized there was a upgraded version, thanks to the quest book. Again, greatest quest book. And this thing is awesome. You basically just feed it ender pearls for the fuel here, and you can set all these different things. So you see, I've already been to Horus, and I even set up a teleportation on the mothership, so I didn't could go there whenever. Because right now this is actually just chilling over by Horus right now, because I got to Horus and teleported back. But the reason I wanted to go to Horus already, so one, I wanted a quick way to be able to go check on my energy once that becomes the primary energy giver. The other thing was one of the other resources I've been struggling with out of nowhere is nether stars. So I did bump up my Nether Star passive, which is right here, I believe. Yep. No, I'm wrong. Right. Let me zoom out a little bit. Where is it? Oh, right here. This is the Salus Mundus loop, and then this mixer makes us the Null Catalyst, and then mixing it with Salus Mundus, you get more Nether Stars and all that jazz. But this definitely wasn't keeping up. On top of that, in one of my implosion compressors, wherever it is, this guy, I also have it feeding Nether Star dust to it to turn to Nether Stars. Now I did upgrade these to Infinity Blocks because I still have the ones from the what's it called, the task or mission in the quest book, but it didn't make any sort of difference, even though it's supposed to have 4 more parallels. So maybe I needed to add more power, but this was still really slow. So I then decided, all right, we're gonna go to Horus, and there we're going to set up some void miners for now. Now, my main goal right now is the Dyson Swarm, but I have slowly been working towards the Deep Dark portal. I know it doesn't seem like the... Oh, yeah. But Horus has Nether Star as one of the ores, so I set up 2 void miners, and actually these were just set up about an hour ago. Doesn't seem to be making a huge difference. They are being both fed with Oganicin, so they should be getting the highest multiplier. But I'll look into that more, make sure they're getting fed, because I don't actually know. I assume these could wall share. They seem to be working wall sharing, but I don't know if this is actually like getting yeah, it's getting consumed. So I should be getting a bunch of ores out of this. Just doesn't seem to be getting me very much Nether Store ore very fast. Also want to set up a monster repeller over here. And then like I said, over here will be where the Dyson things are, because we get the most bonus from this place. And then once I have the Deep Dark, I'll also tear these down and move them to the Deep Dark. And on top of that, have crafted 14 other level 3 void miners for when we get into that portal. So that'll be pretty cool for resources, especially because there's some resources there you can't get anywhere else. And I think that was basically it. Like I said, there's a bunch of little things here and there, because overall I'm working towards the Dyson Swarm. The Dyson Swarm takes a lot of UIV components, so I'm also working towards the UIV component things, which I'm missing resources for. I believe I need to still bump up my, let's see, try to craft 43 of these. Diamond. Oh yeah, I was Molten Transcendent, or this stuff, the residual, which we're actually doing pretty good on. Yesterday at this point in time, I was shy 15 million. This stuff is the byproduct from the Dimensional Forge. Now that I'm actually... I still don't have the plasma... remember, the overall really big goal I haven't mentioned is to be able to make the plasma mixer so I can make the different catalysts faster. But the setup for catalysts I have going right now is able to keep up with some of the passives that I have currently running through those forges. So I'm constantly making Hypogen and constantly making Infinity. So we are just to keep building up this supply. And then the rest of this... Molten... yeah, a lot of this, some of this will become a moot point. This I just don't have the craft set up. Just don't have this craft set up. Steel, funnily enough, is something I've also... I think I just need to craft more bees. And then I'll have to set up some recipes for this stuff. But I also can set up a QFT to get... to completely remove having to redo all my rubber lines again. So probably craft a couple more QFTs. I think one of my goals is just run a QFT running overnight, craft one every day and set one up, just to start really building up all these resources. Because the big thing is once I get enough Hypogen and the UEV circuits, which I'll have to see if these are jammed or for some reason. It does appear to be the case because of this. then I can get, like I said, get infinity a lot faster, which knocks out all those resources that I was short behind. But so yeah, we're working with a plan. Doing it, it's just a bunch of random fixing up everything that is behind. Why is this? Oh, I put this on blocking mode. This should not be happening. I have to look into this. So I've got chromatic glass over here going through, because that's used to make the level 3 fuel a lot more efficiently. And yeah, anyways, this thing, I haven't figured out how to solve it, because they're, for whatever reason, they decide to leave them as the same circuit number. But if you put too much of a resource in here, it tries to do the more efficient recipe, which then yells at me for not having the right coils. Like in this case, infinity coils would be fine. So I'm almost, if it wasn't for a hypogen needing to be made over there, I would just move it over to the other forge. But anyways, little things like that. So gotta work, keep on trucking along, getting some resources, and keep working towards that plasma mixer. But anyways, thanks for watching, and hope you have a good night. And I may or may not have one tomorrow. If not, I'll for sure have one Monday. Otherwise, have a good one. Goodbye.